Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about the parallel resonance circuit or a parallel RLC circuit. So in the previous video, we discussed the different characteristics of the series RLC circuit, that is the series RLC resonance circuit. Okay, so similar to that, we are going to discuss about what is meant by the parallel RLC circuit and how it behaves, and what is the resonant frequency for this parallel RLC circuit. And there are three different types of parallel RLC circuit depending upon that components. Okay, and for each circuit we are going to derive the resonant frequency, bandwidth, quality factor, selectivity, and so on. Okay, so in this video we are going to see the three different types of parallel RLC circuit and their resonant frequency, impedance, and what about the current flowing we are going to discuss. Okay, so in the next video we are going to discuss about the bandwidth of this parallel RLC circuit as well as the quality factor, selectivity. Okay, so first one, you see what is mean by the resonant circuit. So already you know the characteristics of resonant circuit, that is the circuit is in resonance when the applied voltage and the applied current are in phase. Okay, so if the applied voltage and applied current are in phase means that circuit we are calling it as a resonance condition. Okay, that circuit is in resonance condition. So the parallel RLC circuit is said to be in resonance when the applied voltage and the resulting current are in phase. Okay, so if applied voltage and applied current are in phase means what about the power factor? The power factor is also unity. Okay, so similar to series RLC resonance circuit, the parallel RLC resonance circuit also the power factor is unity. Okay, and already you know if the circuit is in resonance condition, so that circuit, that AC circuit, it behaves like a purely resistive in nature. Okay, since the reactance of inductor is equal to the reactance of capacitor, so both get cancelled. That's why the circuit behaves a purely resistive in nature in only resonance condition. Okay, and the next thing, in series RLC circuit, the impedance offered by the series RLC at a resonance is minimum, so that's why the current flowing is maximum in resonance. Okay, but in parallel RLC circuit, the current supplied by that current supplied at the resonance condition is minimum. Okay, in series RLC current is maximum in resonance, but in parallel RLC the current is minimum in parallel resonance. So that's why the parallel resonance circuit, it is also called as anti-resonance circuit. Okay, but in series resonance the impedance is minimum, so the current flowing is maximum. Okay, but in parallel RLC circuit impedance is maximum at a resonance condition, so current is minimum. So that's why the parallel resonance circuit is also called as anti-resonance circuit. Okay, so since the current is minimum, the power transferred from the source to load is also minimum. Okay, but in series RLC circuit, the power transferred to the load is also maximum. Okay, since the current is maximum, the power transferred is also maximum. Okay, but here the power transferred is minimum. So this is the difference between some of the difference between the series and parallel RLC circuit. So after discussing all characteristics of parallel RLC circuit, then we will compare the series RLC and parallel RLC as a separate video. Okay, so this is general about the parallel resonance circuit. And here we are going to discuss about the three parallel RLC circuit. And for this three parallel RLC circuit, we are going to derive the resonant frequency, impedance, as well as the current flowing through that RLC circuit in resonance condition. Okay, so first you see this is the case one. So this is the ideal parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so this is the ideal parallel RLC resonance circuit. So you see the resistor R, inductor and capacitor, the three component are connected in parallel with the applied voltage Vs. Okay, so because of this applied voltage, the current flowing through, the total current supplied by this voltage sources I. Okay, and at a resonance condition, this voltage and this current is in phase. Okay, but in the remaining frequency condition, this current and this voltage is not in phase condition. Okay, so only in resonance condition this voltage and the current, supply voltage and the supply current is in phase, Okay, so that's why this circuit is acting as a purely resistive in nature. Okay, but in the remaining condition, the impedance offered by the circuit is in resistive as well as the reactive in nature. Okay, that is the thing. So this is the ideal parallel RLC circuit. Then the second case is to, so you see, this is also the second type of parallel LC circuit. So here you see, in that in series with the inductor, some resistance is available. Okay, since the inductor, okay, so this is a practical parallel RLC circuit. So in ideal RLC circuit, we are considering all inductor and capacitor is a perfect energy storage element. But that is in each inductor and capacitor, there is some power losses happening. In order to indicate that power loss, so we have to mention the minimum, some resistance, small series resistance R in series with the inductor L. Okay, so that's why this is a two parallel. Okay, inductor in series with resistance parallel with the capacitor. So this is also one of the parallel RLC circuit. Okay, with a two branch. Similarly, the third case is to, so you see the third case is to, this is also the parallel resonance condition, parallel resonance circuit. So here inductor in series with the resistance R1 connected with in parallel with the capacitor C in series with the resistance R2. Okay, so in order to indicate the power loss by the capacitor, we are using one small resistance R2 is connected in series with the capacitor. Okay, so this is also one of the parallel LC circuit. Okay, so there are three different types of parallel LC circuits. So we are going to derive the resonant frequency for this three things. Okay, first you see, so first we will take the ideal parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so you just draw the diagram first. So the applied voltage source is parallel with the resistor, inductor and capacitor. Okay, so since here there is a parallel branch, current flowing through the resistor you just consider as IR, current flowing through inductor as IL, current flowing through the capacitor as IC. Okay, and so in this case, we are going to derive the resonant frequency. So you know, at a resonance condition, the reactance of inductor is cancelled by the reactance of capacitor. Okay, and so in order to know in order to derive the resonant frequency, so first we have to find the impedance. Okay, in previous circuit, the RLC connected in series, so we may calculate impedance as an addition of all components. Okay, but here the three, okay, in three branch, in each branch one component is connected. This component is connected in parallel. Okay, if the two or more components are connected in parallel means instead of impedance calculation, the admittance calculation is very easy. Okay, if the components are connected in parallel. Okay, so that's why. So here you see the admittance of the parallel RLC circuit. Okay, admittance, you know what is mean by admittance? The reciprocal of impedance. We are calling it as a admittance Y. Okay, so here the admittance Y can be written as, okay, since this is there is 1 by Z. If the three component are connected in parallel means we are using the formula, you know, 1 by R total equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Okay, similarly here in first branch resistor is there, in second branch inductor is there, in third branch capacitor is there. So that's why 1 divided by Z total. Okay, so that 1 by Z we are calling it as a admittance Y. Okay, so that's why the admittance Y can be written as 1 divided by what is the component available in first branch resistor, so 1 by R, plus 1 divided by what is the reactance of inductor j omega L, plus 1 divided by what is the reactance of capacitor 1 by j omega C. Okay, so Y is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by j omega L plus 1 divided by 1 by j omega C. Okay, so here 1 by R and 1 by j. Already you know the 1 by j we can write it as a minus j. Okay, it is a minus j. So this 1 by j can be written as minus j divided by omega L. And here 1 by j omega C. So this j omega C, it is coming to this numerator. So j omega C. And here you write the real part as a separate. So 1 by R is a real part. And in the second term and third term, you just take a j outside. Okay, so you may write omega C minus 1 by omega L. So the admittance Y is equal to This is the total admittance of our parallel RLC circuit. Okay, this ideal parallel RLC circuit, what is the total admittance? 1 by R plus J into omega C minus 1 by omega L. Okay, if you want to find the impedance means the impedance Z is equal to, so you see the total impedance is given by, it's a reciprocal of admittance. Okay, so 1 divided by Y. So 1 divided by this total answer, it is the impedance. Okay, if you want to find the impedance mean, you just take the reciprocal for this admittance. Okay, and the next one, if the magnitude of admittance. Okay, so using this equation number 1, if you want to find the magnitude of admittance means, what is the magnitude? The magnitude is nothing but square root of real part squared plus imaginary part squared. So what is the real part here? 1 by R. So 1 by R the whole square plus here no J plus the imaginary part. What is the imaginary part? Omega C minus 1 by omega L the whole square. So this is said to be the magnitude of admittance. Okay, magnitude of admittance. And the next one, so now we are going to derive the resonant frequency formula. So at resonance, so you know the condition. Okay, at resonance, the reactance of inductor is equal to the reactance of capacitor. So that means the reactance of inductor is omega naught L, which is equal to 1 by omega naught C. So you see in resonance condition, either it is a series resonance or parallel resonance, the reactance of inductor gets cancelled by the reactance of capacitor. Okay, so or otherwise you may equate the imaginary part of this admittance equation to 0. Okay, the imaginary part of this admittance. Okay, what is the imaginary part? Omega C minus omega L equal to 0. Okay, so that is also another one method in order to find the resonant frequency. Okay, so in order to find the resonant frequency, equate the imaginary part of this admittance equation to 0. So omega C minus 1 by omega L equal to 0 means we can write it as omega naught L equal to 1 by omega naught C. Okay, so you just cross multiply. So if you are cross multiplying, we can get omega naught squared, okay, into LC equal to 1. Okay, so from that we have to, okay, so you see the resonant frequency omega naught L, if you are cross multiplying, omega naught squared LC equal to 1. Okay, so omega naught squared is equal to 1 by LC. So from that if you are taking square root on both sides, so omega naught equal to 1 by square root of LC radians. So this is an angular resonant frequency of this ideal parallel RLC circuit. So this formula is similar to the series RLC circuit. So for series RLC circuit also, the angular resonant frequency is omega naught is 1 by root LC. Okay, then if you want to find the resonant frequency in hertz means you just divide this omega naught by 2 pi. So F naught, the resonant frequency in hertz, if you want to design means F naught equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. So this is the resonant frequency in hertz for this ideal parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so we derived the resonant frequency. And next one, if you want to derive the impedance, okay, at resonance. At resonance, so you know the condition is omega naught L equal to 1 by omega naught C. Okay, so already you know the condition at resonance, the reactance of inductor is equal to reactance of capacitor. So if you are substituting this this condition in impedance equation or in admittance equation means, so you may get the impedance Z is equal to 1 by R plus this imaginary part 0. Since omega C 1 by omega L both are equal. Okay, so that's why the impedance Z can be written as 1 divided by 1 by R, so which is equal to R. Okay, so you see the impedance at resonance is equal to R. So impedance at resonance equal to R means, what about the admittance at resonance condition? It's a reciprocal of impedance, so 1 divided by R. Okay, so this is the admittance at a resonant condition. This is the impedance at resonant condition of this ideal RLC circuit. Okay, and this is the resonant frequency formula. So from this equation, so we can conclude this ideal RLC circuit. So you see at XL equal to XC, that is at a resonance, the impedance here is maximum. Okay, but in that is in series RLC circuit, the impedance is minimum. Okay, impedance value is at equal to minimum in series RLC circuit. But here, that is in resonance condition, the impedance reaches the maximum value. Okay, so impedance reaches the maximum value. What about the current? The current is minimum. Okay, since impedance is maximum. So what is mean by current? The current is nothing but the applied voltage divided by the impedance. Okay, so here the impedance is maximum, so the current flowing through the parallel RLC circuit at resonance is minimum. Okay, so this is the graphical representation of the impedance versus frequency as well as the current versus frequency. So you see the graph for the parallel RLC circuit. So along x-axis we are taking the frequency and along y-axis we are taking impedance Z. Okay, so this is the resonant frequency. So whenever the frequency f is equal to fr, the impedance it reaches the maximum value which is equal to r. Okay, at frequency f equal to fr, the impedance is equal to capital R. It's a maximum. For lower than resonant frequency and higher than resonant frequency, the impedance decreases from that maximum value. Okay, so this is the impedance graph versus frequency for the parallel RLC circuit. But the impedance versus the frequency graph for series RLC circuit is like that. Okay, so already we discussed in the previous video, the impedance curve for series RLC circuit is at the resonance condition. This impedance value it reaches R, but which is minimum. But below resonance, above resonance, the impedance is maximum. But in parallel RLC circuit, just reverse. Okay. Then what about the current means? So you see this graph indicates both current and impedance versus frequency. Okay. So this graph, okay, this graph shows the impedance graph. Okay, this is the impedance graph of the parallel RLC circuit. And this one, okay, this one is said to be the current flowing. So since impedance is maximum at resonant frequency, what is the current flowing? The current flowing reaches minimum value. And below resonance, above resonance, the current, it will flow in a maximum amount. Okay, so this graph shows the impedance versus frequency as well as the current versus frequency of the parallel RLC circuit. Okay, then similar to this, we are going to derive the resonant frequency for the second RLC, parallel RLC circuit. This is the parallel practical RLC circuit. Okay, parallel practical RLC circuit. So in some time they may mention, okay, so they given this circuit and derive the resonant frequency for this circuit means you just derive this one. Okay, so instead of mentioning derive generally the resonant frequency and quality factor bandwidth for parallel RLC circuit means you may write the first thing. Okay, sometime they will mention for 3 different parallel RLC circuit you derive the resonant frequency means we have to write this one. Okay, and the second type of the parallel practical RLC circuit is this one. Okay, so here the 2 branch, okay, in first branch the inductor L, this inductor L is not ideal one, so that's why it dissipates some power in the form of heat. In order to mention the power loss, we have to mention some series resistor in series with the inductor. Okay, similarly parallel with the capacitor C. Okay, and here we are applying the total voltage as a E. Okay, the total voltage you consider E or V, you just consider. Okay, so this is the second type of parallel LC circuit, RLC circuit. And in this case also we are going to derive the resonating frequency formula as well as the current. Okay, so in order to find the resonant frequency, first we have to find the admittance. Okay, so why we are calculating admittance instead of impedance means, so here the components are connected in parallel. Okay, if the components are connected in series means, so simply we may add all the impedances in order to find the total impedance. Okay, but here the parallel branch is there. So in parallel branch, instead of impedance, we may calculate admittance in a easy manner. Okay, since the total admittance is nothing but admittance of the first branch plus admittance of second branch. Okay, so the admittance of this circuit Y is equal to YC plus YL. What does YC means? Admittance of this first branch, this inductor branch, it is a YL, and admittance of this capacitor branch, it is a YC. Okay, and so Y we may write it as a 1 by Z. Okay, so which is equal to what is YC? So the admittance of this capacitor branch. So we have to write it as 1 divided by the impedance of this capacitor branch plus YL can be written as 1 divided by ZL. Okay, and here we have to substitute the value of ZC. So what is the impedance? What is the impedance of this capacitor branch? The impedance of this capacitor branch is 1 by JXC. Okay, 1 by JXC. 1 by JXC. So here you substitute that is uh, the impedance of this capacitor is minus JXC. Okay, here XC is a 1 divided by omega C. Okay, so that's why instead of this ZC, we have to put minus JXC. Okay, and what is ZL? ZL is the impedance of this inductor branch. So in inductor branch, there are two elements connected in series. Okay, one inductor in series with resistor. So that's why what is the impedance of this branch? The impedance of this branch can be written as R plus J into XL. Okay, where XL is a reactance of this inductor. Okay, so ZL is equal to R plus J into XL. Okay, so you see, then this 1 by minus J, we can write it as a plus J. Okay, so J by XC, and here 1 by R plus JXC. And in the second term, you just multiply, okay, you just multiply both numerator and denominator by complex conjugate of this denominator term in order to separate as the real part and imaginary part. Okay, so R plus JXL, you just multiply with the complex conjugate R minus JXL to both numerator and denominator. Okay, so that's why the numerator 1 into R minus JXL. Here you see the denominator R plus JXL, R minus JXL. If you are multiplying, so this is in the structure of A plus B, A minus B. So what is the product of A plus B, A minus B? A squared minus B squared. Okay, so here what is A? R squared. And what is B? B is JXL. So JXL the whole squared. Okay, JXL the whole squared. So J squared XL squared. What is J squared? It's a minus 1. So that's why minus of minus plus. So R squared plus XL squared. This is the product of this denominator term. Okay, so that's why we can write it as, so the first term as it is, you write J by XC plus R minus JXL divided by, if you are multiplying this to A plus B, A minus B structure, R squared plus XL squared. Okay, then you may split, so you just split the term. So here J by XC, so you split this second term into two things, R by R squared plus XL squared. This is the real part, and minus JXL by R squared plus XL squared. Okay, so if you are splitting, the above term consists of three parts. Okay, one is real and two things imaginary. So the real part you first write R by R squared plus XL squared. Okay, so you write this real part first. So real part, then here one imaginary term is there, here one imaginary term is there. So take J outside. So we can write 1 by XC minus XL divided by R squared plus XL squared. Okay, so this is the total admittance of this practical parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so this is the admittance. So this admittance, it consists of, this is the real part and this is the imaginary part. So you just take it as a equation number 1. Okay, and you know, at resonance, okay, at resonance condition, this reactive part means the imaginary part of this admittance equation becomes 0. Okay, so you know the condition for resonance. At resonance, our circuit is purely resistive in nature. So purely resistive in nature means only in impedance part or admittance part only it is having the real component only. Okay, so that's why at a resonance, this reactive part, the reactive part means this imaginary part, it becomes 0. Okay, so that's why the 1 by XC minus XL divided by R squared plus XL squared becomes 0. Okay, so we have to equate this imaginary part as 0. So from that, we have to find out the omega naught value. Okay, so in that you just take LCM first. Okay, so you take LCM for this two term. So you see what is LCM? XC into R squared plus XL squared. Okay, then here if you are taking LCM, in top 1 into R squared plus XL squared, then minus XL into XC, which is equal to 0. Okay, then this denominator, if you are multiplying with 0 means it becomes 0. So R squared plus XL squared minus XL XC equal to 0. Okay, so from that, this R squared XL squared is equal to this minus XL XC, you give it to that side. So R squared plus XL squared is equal to XL XC. Okay, then now you substitute the value of XL value and XC value. What is XL? The reactance of inductor is nothing but it is a omega naught L. Okay, so what is the reactance of capacitor? The reactance of capacitor is nothing but 1 by omega naught C. So now you substitute the XL value and XC value here. So you see XL XC. So omega naught L into 1 by omega naught C. So here omega naught cancel. So what is the answer? L by C. So you take R squared plus XL squared is equal to L by C. So you just consider this is the equation number 2. Okay. And so from that you just rearrange, you just find out the XL value. Then instead of XL we have to substitute omega naught L here. Okay, so here R squared XL squared is equal to L by C. So you keep this XL squared in left side. You give this R squared to another side. So XL squared is equal to L by C minus R squared. Okay, then XL squared is equal to this. So XL is equal to square root of L by C minus R squared. Okay, and what is this XL? What is the reactance of inductor? It is a omega naught L. So omega naught L is equal to this. Okay. So from that omega naught is equal to 1 by L into square root of L by C minus R squared. Okay. Then if you are giving this L inside this is square root means this L it comes here means it will come to L squared. Okay. So that's why square root of L by L squared C minus R squared by L squared. Okay. So here this L, 1L cancel. So we can get square root of 1 by LC minus R squared by L squared. It is a omega naught. Okay. So this is the radiant frequency. Okay. Radiant resonant frequency for our practical LC circuit. Okay. So if you want to find the resonant frequency in hertz means you just divide this omega naught by 2 pi. So the resonance frequency in hertz is F naught is equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of 1 by LC minus R squared by L squared. Okay. So this is the resonant frequency formula for this second type. Okay. This practical two branch parallel LC circuit. Okay. Inductor in series with resistor connected in parallel with the capacitor. Okay, so for this circuit, the resonant frequency is 1 by 2 pi square root of 1 by LC minus the extra term R squared by L squared. Okay, so resonant frequency we derived. Next, we have to derive the admittance. Okay, admittance at a resonance condition. Okay, so if you want to find the admittance and the resonance condition, we have to substitute this resonant frequency in our total admittance equation. So which one is the total admittance equation? This is the equation number 1. This is the total admittance. So at the resonance, you know, this reactive part becomes 0. Okay, so that's why the admittance Y can be written as R by R squared plus XL squared. Okay, so you see at the resonance, okay, at the resonance, the admittance which is denoted by Y naught. Okay, or Y naught or YR, admittance at resonance. So Y naught equal to R by R squared plus XL squared. And what is the value of this R squared plus XL squared? So already you see here this R squared. Okay, we derived, you know, in this the value of this R squared plus XL squared is equal to this R squared plus XL is equal to, we reduced it to L by C. So you substitute instead of this R squared plus XL squared, you substitute L by C. So from that we can get the admittance is equal to RC by L. Okay, so you see this admittance part, the admittance is purely resistive in nature. Okay, it doesn't have any J component, reactive component, only resistive in nature. Okay, so therefore the dynamic impedance, the impedance is nothing but the reciprocal of this dynamic admittance. So Z naught is equal to 1 by Y naught. So L divided by RC. Okay, so this is the dynamic impedance of the second parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so from this impedance equation, we can say that this impedance, it is independent of frequency. Yes. Okay, so here you see this impedance Z naught is depending upon any frequency component omega or F. No. Okay, so the dynamic impedance, that is impedance at a resonance for the practical RLC circuit is independent of frequency, as well as this impedance is a pure resistance. Yes. Okay, it's a pure resistive component, no imaginary part is there. Okay, the impedance is purely resistive in nature. Okay, and if lower the resistance of the coil, higher the value of Z naught. Okay, if the R value is minimum, means what is R? R is a resistance of the inductor. Okay, if the resistance of the inductor becomes very low, means what is the impedance? The impedance becomes high. Okay, the impedance become higher. So if it is a good quality coil, means the dynamic impedance offered by this practical RLC circuit is very high. Okay, it is a thing. So the value of impedance at resonance is maximum. Okay, so if the impedance is maximum, already you know the current is minimum. So in parallel RLC circuit, so all parallel RLC circuit at a resonance condition, the impedance is maximum. Okay, so the current is minimum. So this one is already we explained in the second graph. So you see, so this is the graph for this the second practical RLC circuit. So you see the impedance at a resonance condition is L by CR. Okay, impedance is L by CR, and the current is, so at the resonance the impedance is maximum, so the current flowing reaches minimum value. Okay, minimum value. So that's why this parallel RLC circuit, it is also called as rejector circuit. Okay, the parallel RLC, it can be called it as a rejector or anti-resonance circuit. Okay, since at the resonance condition the current flowing is minimum, so power is also minimum. Okay, so that's why the parallel RLC circuit is also called as anti-resonance circuit or rejector circuit. Okay, so in other words, a tank circuit, it rejects the current at resonance. Okay, at resonance the current flowing is minimum, so it rejects the current. It is a meaning. Okay, and the current at resonance is calculated by, which is nothing but the total voltage divided by the impedance at resonance. Okay, so the total voltage E. What is the impedance at resonance? The impedance is L by RC. Okay, so if you are substituting L divided by RC, so it come to the numerator. So the current at resonance, the formula is E RC divided by L. So this value, it is minimum. Okay, so this is the second case of parallel RLC circuit. Okay, and the third parallel resonance circuit. So you see, this is the third parallel resonance circuit. In this parallel resonance circuit, there is a two branch. Okay, in first branch, the inductor in series with the resistance R1. So this R1 is used to indicate the power loss for this inductor. Okay, there is a series resistance of this inductor is mentioned by R1. Similarly, the capacitor, the series resistance of the capacitor is mentioned by R2. Okay, so here L in series with R1, capacitor C in series with R2. These two branches are kind in parallel with the applied voltage E. Okay, so this is the third type of parallel RLC circuit. Okay, in first type, resistor R, L, C connect in parallel. In second circuit, the inductor in series with resistance in parallelly connected with capacitor. In this third circuit, inductor in series with resistance parallelly connected with capacitor in series with resistance. Okay, this is the third circuit. Okay, so similar to previous that one. So for this case also we are going to derive the resonant frequency. Okay, so in order to derive the resonant frequency, first we have to find out the admittance. Okay, so instead of calculating impedance for parallel branch, admittance calculating is easy. So the total admittance is equal to admittance of this first branch plus admittance of the second branch. Okay, YL plus YC. So what is this y can be written as 1 by z. So 1 by z is equal to yl equal to 1 by zl. Yc we can write it as a 1 by zc. Okay, and what is zl? Zl is the impedance of this branch. Okay, this inductor branch. So what is the total impedance of this inductor branch? The resistance R1 plus J into XL. Okay, similarly, what is the impedance of the second branch? The impedance of the second branch is R2 minus JXL. Okay, R2 minus JXL, since the reactive component of inductor is plus JXL. Reactive component of capacitor is minus JXL. Okay, so you see the ZL. So instead of ZL, you substitute R1 plus JXL. ZC value is R2 minus JXC. Okay, so then you see now we have to split this term into real part as well as imaginary part. But here in denominator, in first denominator, real plus imaginary, here also real minus imaginary is there. So that's why you multiply the first part with its complex conjugate. So what is the complex conjugate of this denominator term? R1 minus J into XL. Okay, you just multiply the numerator and denominator of this first part by R1 minus JXL. Similarly, you multiply this second term. Okay, you multiply this second term with this complex conjugate. What is the complex conjugate of this denominator? R2 plus J into XC. Okay, so you multiply R2 plus J into XC and R2 plus J into XC. Okay, so if you are multiplying here in numerator, 1 into R1 minus JXL, R1 minus JXL. Then here denominator you see A plus B, A minus B. So A squared plus A squared minus B squared. Here B is JXL. So J squared is 1 minus. So R1 squared plus XL squared. Similarly, if you are multiplying this term, so you see in numerator R2 plus JXC divided by, here if you are multiplying A plus B, A minus B, R2 squared plus XC squared. Okay, so why we are multiplying its complex conjugate means we have to split the total admittance into real part as well as the imaginary part. Okay, we have to split into real part separately, imaginary part separately. That's why we are multiplying with its complex conjugate. Okay, so now you see you split this term into 4 term. Okay, so you see R1 by this term, it's a real part. Okay, then minus JXL divided by this one, it's a second imaginary part. Similarly, R2 by this term, real part. JXC divided by this one, it's a imaginary part. Okay, so you split the above term into 4 term. So in this 4 term, which 2 term is said to be real? Okay, real means without G. So this is real, this is real. Okay, so you combine the 2 real part and the remaining this 2 part is a imaginary. So in this imaginary part, you just write this is the imaginary part. Okay, then this real part you write separately, plus in this 2 term you take J outside. If you are taking J outside, minus XL by R1 squared plus XL squared plus XC divided by R2 squared plus XC squared. Okay, so this is the total admittance of that 2 branch parallel RLC circuit. So you consider this is the equation number 1. So in this we splitted the total admittance into real part as well as the imaginary part. Okay, so after splitting this, already you know the method. If you want to find the resonant frequency at the resonance condition, this imaginary part of the admittance equation, it becomes 0. Okay, so at the resonance, the reactive part, it must be 0. So what is the, which one is the reactive part? This J term. Okay, so that's why you equate the second part to 0. So minus XL by R1 squared plus XL squared plus XC by R2 squared plus XC squared is equal to 0. Okay, then you give this term to that side. Okay, so you may get like this. Okay, then you cross multiply, this one you multiply here, this one you multiply here, so we may get XL into this plus XC into this. Okay, so now you substitute instead of XL. Okay, what is the reactance of XL? The reactance of XL is equal to omega naught L at resonance. The reactance of capacitor is equal to 1 by omega naught C. Okay, so you substitute XL is this, XC is this. So XL, omega naught L, XC squared. So XC squared means 1 by omega naught C squared. Similarly, XC, 1 by omega naught C, XL, omega naught L the whole square. Okay, then you just write. Okay, so you multiply this omega naught C to this side. So omega naught squared LC into this equal to this. Okay, then you this omega naught LC you multiply with each term. So you split like this. Okay, so here the omega naught squared cancel, C 1C cancel. So from that the omega naught squared R2 squared LC plus L by C equal to R1 squared plus omega naught squared L squared. Okay, similarly you just see. So from that we have to find the value of omega naught. So you collect omega naught term one side, remaining term another side. Okay, so you just collect, this is omega naught term, this is omega naught term. So you collect omega naught in one side. So you see, so from that you take omega naught squared outside, which is equal to R1 squared minus L by LC. Okay, so from that in this inner term you take LC outside. So omega naught squared LC equal to R2 squared minus L squared by LC. So L by C. So from that omega naught squared is equal to 1 by LC R1 squared minus L by C divided by R2 squared minus L by C. Okay, this is the omega naught squared. So from that if you are taking square root on both sides, we can get the angular resonant frequency. So the angular resonant frequency equal to 1 by root LC into square root of this. Okay, so this is the angular resonant frequency for our two branch parallel RLC circuit. So the formula you see 1 by root LC with the additional term square root of R1 squared minus LC divided by R2 squared minus LC. Okay, then if you want to find the resonant frequency in hertz, F naught means 1 by 2 pi. You just divide this omega naught by 2 pi. Okay, this is the resonant frequency in hertz. Okay, so from this equation, so we can observe something. Okay, if the value of R1 and R2 are equal, okay, that is the series resistance of inductance and the series resistance of capacitor, if both are, that the two resistance values are equal means, so this term, this inner term, it becomes 0. Okay, so both term is same, so it cancels. That's why the omega naught is reduced to 1 by square root of LC. Okay, this is the one thing. If the series impedance of inductor and series impedance of series resistance of capacitor both are equal means the resonant frequency formula is reduced to 1 by root LC. Okay, since this both term equal value, so this answer is 1. Okay, but if the resistance value R1 R2 equal to square root of L by C means, okay, if the R1 value R2 value both are equal, which is equal to square root of L by C means, okay, so at the time you see, if R1 R2 equal to square root of LC means this term, this R1 squared minus L by C, okay, R1 squared minus L by C, it is 0, divided by this R2 squared divided by L by C, it is also 0, so 0 by 0, it is an indeterminate. Okay, whenever the R1 value R2 value becomes square root of LC, the resonant frequency F naught, it becomes indeterminate. Okay, so the indeterminate means the resonance occurs at all frequencies. Okay, in all frequency the resonance will be occurring. Okay, so that's why the circuit is said to be the purely resistive in nature. So at this condition, the impedance it is a constant. That impedance is given by square root of L by C. Okay, this is the second condition. And in third condition, if you are selecting the R1 squared is less than L by C, R2 squared is less than L by C means, okay, this part, this R1 squared is less than L by C, R2 squared is less than L by C means this answer becomes negative, negative. Okay, so that's why at the time we will get the frequency in imaginary part. Okay, we can get the that omega naught, it is imaginary. So at the time the circuit is said to be never resonant. Okay, so this is the third condition. So whenever if the resistance of inductor and series resistance of capacitor it becomes equal means the resonant frequency is reduced to 1 by root LC. If the R1 R2 value becomes square root of LC means this both terms gets 0 and 0 value. So 0 by 0 it is indeterminate. That means the resonance occurs at all frequencies. Okay. So at the time the circuit behaves like a pure resistive in nature. Okay. So these are all the three different parallel LC circuit and the resonant frequency formula we derived. Okay. Okay, so for three different LC circuit, in first LC circuit, okay, so quickly we will say, in first LC circuit, the resistor, capacitor and inductor connected in parallel. Okay, simply resistor, inductor, capacitor connected in parallel. Here the inductor, capacitor all are ideal. Okay, ideal component means there is no power loss. Okay, so for that we derived the resonant frequency formula is omega naught is 1 by root LC or F naught equal to 1 by 2 pi LC. Okay, in the second circuit, if this coil is having some amount of loss means that loss is mentioned by resistor and the capacitor is the ideal means, so this is also this is a one of the practical parallel circuit. So at that case we derived the resonant frequency formula is 1 by 2 pi square root of 1 by LC minus R squared by L squared. Okay, and in the third case the if inductor is also having some internal resistance, capacitor is also having some loss is mentioned by R2 mean this is the third resonant circuit. So for this third resonant circuit, the resonant frequency formula is 1 by root LC square root of R1 squared minus L by C divided by R2 squared minus L by C. Okay, so these are all the three different parallel RLC circuit and their resonant frequency we discuss. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos and please press the bell notification button. Then only you can get immediate notification once I am posting the video. If you want to learn the remaining lecture videos for the circuit analysis subject in my channel in the name of circuit analysis, there is a separate playlist is there. So in that playlist, all circuit analysis lecture videos, okay, are available in order from Ohm's law to all network theorem as well as series RLC circuit and parallel RLC circuit. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next video. In the next video, we are going to derive the bandwidth of this parallel RLC circuit and what about the quality factor and selectivity. We will see. Okay, so thank you. We'll meet in the next video.